We got 5 minutes on the clock. What's your name and what is your podcast show?
Oh, nice to be here, Josh. Well, first of all, my name is Dai. I know people are gonna be like, "What the hell is that all about?" And last name's Manuel. It's a Welsh first name, Portuguese last name. But as I told you earlier, Josh, I'm just a Canadian, so don't worry about it. And I'm the host of the 2% Solution podcast.
What the heck is the 2% Solution podcast? Because before you were talking about
Yeah,
authenticity and where does
yeah,
2% and all this mix, man? Tell us about it.
yeah. Well, gosh, it'd be almost 15 years ago. I made a decision based on a question my wife asked me. She challenged me one morning when I woke up extremely hungover, and this is par for the course. I was very good at never asking for permission, but always begging for forgiveness. And I had a real struggle with alcohol. I was 32 at the time. And at the end of this conversation where we were exploring what life was going to be like to co-parent our kids versus being co-committed as parents living together, um, she asked me a question. She said, Di, are you being the type of man that you would want to marry your daughters? And it was just instant, Josh. It was like immediately I had this sense of overwhelm that my goodness, I am that role model. I am that mentor. I am the measuring stick for my daughters about what is a great man, and I really knew I was falling short of that. And so I made a commitment then to stop drinking and really focus on all the yeses that I've been avoiding in my life and really reprioritizing my health and well-being. But I also understood that I didn't know how to ask for help.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn to get vulnerable and ask for help. As someone that I'm a male who identifies as a man, and I'll tell you how I've grown up. There's been very few men that mentor and model vulnerability in a strong way, a way that I could get behind. And what I mean
Mm.
by that is just connection, right? Camaraderie, being able to do that. And so the 2% solution is really based on some of this journey I've gone through, but also this invitation to people to prioritize 2% of every 24 hours. For those that are really good at math, it's 28.4 minutes, but I just call it 30 minutes. But I've
Yeah.
had one guy reach out, and obviously he's got a big brain because he had to correct me. It's not 30 minutes a day, it's 28.4. And I'm like, whatever. All right. And so, yeah, the 2% solution just gives people a lot of tips, tricks, strategies. And I bring on some amazing guests that really, they know way more than me. But, and I tell everybody I'll be probably not anywhere close to the smartest guy in the room, but I'm going to become friends with the guys that are, and I like to bring them in and really highlight them and where they can add value to people's lives. So, yeah, that's sort of it in a very quick story arc.
Yeah, I love it, man. I think it's such a great story. Are you the kind of man you want your daughters to marry? Man, that's such a man. I got two daughters, and
Oh,
that's gonna force me rethink some of the decisions I make on a day-to-day basis. Let me
yeah,
ask you a question. When it comes to
yeah,
launching, becoming more authentic and
yeah,
transparent, what was the hardest thing about becoming authentic that you faced? Because being behind a microphone, it's scary.
yeah. Oh gosh, yeah, totally. Well, I guess the thing is just trying to remember the people that are out there listening. They're people too, man. We're all just humans, and we are emotional humans. We're not humans being emotional. And I think we have to understand the one predicates the other. We are feeling people. We're sentient beings, and as such, we learn and we've passed on through generations, literally the millennia, through storytelling. And what are the stories that we most remember? All the ones that move us emotionally, the ones that we can say, "Oh my gosh, that is me. I see myself in that story. I've had that experience." Because this brings us all closer together. And it's one of those things. I don't think you can fake vulnerability. I really don't. Like I think we see this in the world that we live in, filtered images and filtered personas and just everything's very ego driven a lot of the time in our social world. And we have to wonder, what's the motivation to being vulnerable? Is it for clicks? Is it for vanity metrics? Or is it to make a difference, make an impact, and really relate to somebody that might be struggling to say, hey, I've been there too. You're not alone. And here's what worked for me, you know?
Yeah. Man, that's so good. And I really appreciate you sharing part of that story, man. I know we
Thanks.
talk a lot about podcasting and diving into that. For
Mhm.
people who want to learn more about you and your podcast, where's a good place for people to do that?
Yeah, I love Instagram. I mean, I'm most active on that social platform. Plus, having a really unique name makes me really easy to find, as long as you spell it right. So it's
Yeah.
Daimanuel. So just that Dai Manuel. And even if you butcher the name, they've gotten so used to the autocorrect now, they'll put me in there. But I share every episode there, at least a little audiogram, and it links to my main sites. But you can hear the podcast on any platform that distributes podcasts.
Cool. I hope you guys enjoyed these 5-minute chats with other podcasters. We'll see you all on the next one.